It'll probably take a few tries, buddy. Ready?
Yep.
Hi. No. Hi, I'm Rob Dokuchie, Director of Marketing here at Lake of the Woods Brewing Company. What? Okay. I'm happy to do that. I'll keep doing it. Hi there, I'm Rob Dokuchie, Director of Marketing here at Lake of the Woods Brewing Company. One thing about Lake of the Woods Brewing Company that I think differentiates us from a lot of other breweries in Canada is that we actually have a very rich brewing history here in Kenora. And in 1898, the original Lake of the Woods Brewing Company was founded by someone you may have heard of, Abraham Lincoln.
That would actually be Abraham Kingdon, not Abraham Lincoln.
And a little known fact, he had a bottle of Lake of the Woods Brewing Company beer in his hand when he was assassinated by John Wilkes Booth.
That's not true at all.
And sort of deciding on that we were going to be called Lake of the Woods Brewing Company, there were certain things that came with it, right? A rich, robust history.
There was a Lake of the Woods Brewing Company, an original one.
It was quite large for the size of the town because there was a pretty big gold boom going on at the time.
One of their beers was Sultana Gold.
Named after Sultana Gold Mine.
Originally, Sultana was called Sultana Diamond because, little known fact, there are literally tons and tons of Canadian diamonds down the Sultana shaft.
Sultana Diamond? That kind of sounds like Crystal Pepsi. No, there was never diamond mining on Lake of the Woods.
Our original brewery is built in a firehouse circa 1912, which would be Kenora's third fire hall. Ironically, the first two burnt down.
Two, not just one, two fire halls burned down prior to this one being built. At the time, the fire chief in 1911 or whenever they started construction said, "This one's not burning, we're building it out of brick."
He recruited the help of aliens. This was very important because the bricks were heavy. The aliens were able to actually lift those up with their laser beams and sort of mold
this fire hall. That there's some strange markings in the basement.
Seriously? They're just regular bricks. They're not super heavy.
Aliens are real. Whiskey Island. It was 10 miles out of town.
People would go out there to drink and carouse during the time when they were building the railroad.
When they were building the railway, you couldn't have alcohol served within 10 miles of the camp.
Whiskey Island is conveniently 10 miles from Kenora. We also know that during Prohibition, it was a popular spot to stop.
And then there was a succession of a number of different owners. Names like Bent's Brewery come to mind. There were some pretty unique periods in history. Well, the interesting thing about Lake of the Woods is that the lake also spans into Minnesota.
During Prohibition, when Al Capone actually owned the Conrisha Hotel, he built a series of tunnels under Main Street.
There's more than one rumor about Al Capone traveling the lake to oversee some of these shipments, and some say he's still around in one way or the other.
Criminals, they don't like to write down things that they do. There are rumors, certainly on the south end of the lake. Al Capone never owned the Conrisha. And if there are tunnels under there, it would be pretty impressive because it's solid Canadian shield.
Steamships on Lake of the Woods. We have a beer called Nautical Disaster. There, I would say, is in the vicinity of 700 steamship wrecks on Lake of the Woods.
Yeah, there's definitely not that many, but there are 65 or 70 that we know of.
One of our newest beers, Dead Man's Switch, is a New England IPA, which in 1973, May 10th, a gentleman walked into the CIBC Bank on Main Street, downtown Kenora.
Literally strapped a working bomb to himself and had a dead man's switch in his mouth.
No.
On his way out of the bank, was sniped from one of the rooftops, and the dead man's switch detonated.
So that is true. The identity of the robber is still unknown and is currently classified as a cold case. We'll probably never know who it was.
Obviously, it's no secret anymore. It used to be years ago, but Sasquatch come in under the guise of night, obviously, and work until sunup. The Sasquatch come in and actually stomp grain. So instead of it running through the roller mill, they gush it between their toes.
When the brew co asked me to come and help them brew beer, I jumped in with both big feet.
No, that's not true at all. Can we cut? I can't be involved with this.
Do you actually want us to cut, or?
So fast forward to Lake of the Woods Brewing Company modern day. What do we have? We have a lot of the things that the company was originally founded on 123 years ago. Things like community, craft, small batch beer brewing.
The original brewing company opened, before craft beer was cool. It's just what everybody did back then. It was, you had a brewery in most small towns and villages. We are doing the same thing they did. We're brewing beer the old school way.
In creating the branding and creating some of the imagery behind the beers, some of the products that we wear, we wanted to kind of pay homage to that original history of Lake of the Woods Brewing Company.
We're really proud to brew our beer in this kind of way of our forefathers.
We look to sustainability. Without a healthy environment, we can't have healthy communities, we can't have healthy people. All of those are core to the values of Lake of the Woods Brewing Company, and that started 123 years ago.
History matters, and so does beer. So get them together. What do you got? Bistry.
Bistry is not a word. I'm getting paid for this, right?